Here's what I'm saying, Penzo. It's like, when black people say, no, these people can live, we'll survive on our own. But once people call your bluff, né, and you have no alternative of how you're going to survive, it becomes a problem.
Yeah.
So our president, when he made that statement, he should have thought of, in fact, how many people are employed by USAID? How many people are employed by AGOA? If Trump says, oh, clever, no problem.
Cut.
Already.
Let me read here.
And I've got the responsibility to do it because I'm the president of America.
Yeah.
I hold the responsibility to decide what happens here. They still don't have a plan for probably 100,000 people that are employed by that thing, whatever the number is. You can't make these statements and not think of what is going to come from it.
I think it's more.
Partly what happened, I think, is that
Mike.
he did, it's
Okay,
right here.
sure.
He did exactly the same thing that he does in this country all the time, which is just rhetoric, right? But I think, they don't understand. He doesn't understand they are now dealing with another type of man, like in Trump, or another type of politician who's so badly wants to see results, because they're still playing the other game where the game is not about results, right? It's just about, I'm going to say these things and I'm going to get maximum support. Trump has got the maximum support. Now he's like,
And the money.
And the money. He just wants to see results.
And he's also delivering on everything that he promised. Because Trump, like what you said, Trump's interests start and end with putting America first. And you can see it in the way that he's applying things like tariffs, in the things that he promised on the campaign trail. Like a good one for me, which the media did their level best to demonize, is when he said, why are we covering 80% of the bill for NATO in terms of the money we give? But you, as Germany, who kind of uses its resources the most, you are covering 3%. It doesn't make sense. We are going to pull back funding. You guys must start funding it more. You have the money because this asset is most useful to you. It's the North American Trade Organization, but it kind of is mainly in Europe. They are all the way in North America, the continental, the geographic distance from the benefits of NATO. It's not hitting America. All they are doing is they're giving the army, the military resources and the money. And he was like, this doesn't make sense for America. So I'm pulling out. Remember, he made that threat. Then they shut themselves. They started panicking. No, you can't do that. And he was like, but why? We are not drawing any of the benefits here. And we are giving most of the resources. It's unfair. That is an example of put America first. So I don't believe that he's doing what he's doing to South Africa because he just wants to fuck us. But what I do believe is, it's not about land. I don't think it's about land, and I don't think it's about Afrikaners.
I'll speak about ICJ as well. This is from Westgrow. Westgrow.co.za, the AGOA fact sheet.
Yeah.
The African Growth and Opportunity Act has supported around 93,000 jobs in South Africa in the fourth quarter of 2023. However, the number of jobs affected by AGOA could be much higher if the agreement's benefits were to be revoked. It's a trade agreement between the US and eligible sub-Saharan African countries that provides duty-free access to the US market, meaning you can sell your stuff to America at a cheaper price, which means Americans will buy it, basically.
Yes.
Or you don't have to pay tax.
You don't have to pay the tariffs that they would ordinarily levy on it.
AGOA has been a lifeline for South Africa's economy, particularly in the automotive and agricultural sectors.
Yes, we send cars assembled here.
Okay, there was a question I was looking to ask. If you guys really believe what you were saying earlier about the loss of white people, let's call them white people generally, but including Afrikaners, we need their skills. They've accumulated them over time. They add a lot of value to the country. And if they left, we'd be in trouble. Does this mean that those people can, like Trump, literally be like, we're actually leaving. We're actually going to call your bluff and we're actually going to leave until you guys change the Expropriation Act? Can they actually flex? And if they do flex, that would then, we can conclude that white people run the country.
Yeah, but it would be difficult for them to flex like that. Because in order to take advantage of Trump's offer, there's a process that needs to be followed. So first you've got to apply for refugee status, right? Because you are escaping here.
They said refugee versus asylum.
Asylum.
Asylum,
So,
you can go immediately?
Asylum,
Because
I
you're in
think,
trouble,
yeah,
and then
something
refugee,
like, yeah.
there's a process.
I was
which takes
reading
longer.
it on Ridi Klabi's thread.
Yeah.
And I was also trying to understand. But basically, you're not going to leave in less than like a year, 3 months to a year. You've got to go to Home Affairs. You've got to get all of your police clearances. And then it's subject to approval as well. Not everyone might be approved. So it's not a flex in that they can, like I say, like if the miners had to just say, you know what, fuck it, we're not coming to work, cheers. And everybody just downs tools. That would have an immediate effect.
Sure.
But the miners would also lose because they'd stop getting paid, and then how would they survive? So everyone is everything is what does Thomas Sowell calls it a trade-off.
Yeah.
You see, there's a trade-off. Yes, we can threaten to go, but actually going, practically speaking, might take a little bit long. Yes, you can threaten to expropriate land, but actually taking the land, this is what the president is saying. He's saying, no, there's a process and we first check. And if you read the bill, you'll see that it's actually land that's not being used currently. So sort of like empty land that could be farmed, but nobody's using. Now, there's one big piece of land that kind of fits that description, which I think is the actual target of this Expropriation Act, which I don't know this to be fact, but that would be the ultimate plot twist, is that this land expropriation thing has actually nothing to do with white people, because that's not the land they're after.
2.8 million hectares.
You see, that's not being used. It's just being owned and
the
held
Zulus.
in trust by the Zulus.